Okay, so we did get the dyno in the room yesterday. We had a little bit of action on the screen here. It's a real old software system. It's an MS-DOS software system, real old computer, and we were playing around with it, trying to get things working right. We had it opened up and there was a board laying inside. This is kind of what we ended up with for a message. And we don't have a disk or anything to enter. We hit enter. This is kind of what we get. So we're kind of thinking that as far as the software goes, I think it's like 19, maybe 97. Computer's probably out of that era too. So we're thinking that portion is going to be just too old and it's going to be an issue. So therefore it's not going to run all this stuff that is on the dyno for computer boxes and stuff. I think we'd have a lot of problems trying to make it work. So we've talked to the guys that own the dyno because we made a deal with them. The dyno set up in our shop and we'll do some motors for them and stuff, and in turn we get everything working, and we'll get to use the dyno on some of our own stuff and that. Here's all the stuff that's on the floor for the dyno. It makes it work. We'll have to hook it up to the water tank and hook up the water pump over there and the starter box to start it. So yeah, it'll be great when we get it going. From what I understand, these absorbers that were made by Dynamic at the time, pretty well bulletproof. This thing does have its own starter in the back, so you don't have to put a starter on the motor. It'll spin it over in here. That's the water tower for it, so it acts like a big cooling radiator. But anyway, there's a company out of the UK that makes a software system for these to convert it all over to a modern software and put some modern boxes and modern sensors on it. So at this point, that's what we're looking at doing. So I think we will end up with all new software and so on it. It does have its own actuator for the accelerator on this. We got it to move a little bit yesterday and then that was it, wouldn't move. Apparently they were an issue. So I think what we'll end up doing is probably running a manual cable and set something up that way. So anyway, it looks like we're going to be getting all new software for it, and we'll convert it all over. So if that all happens, yeah, hopefully we'll have the software and stuff within the next 10 days or so, and we'll change some boxes around and hook up that software. We'll have to have a new computer to run it, because like I said, that's an old MS-DOS unit. So we'll need a new computer and a new printer. The printer virtually weighs a ton. You cannot believe what that thing weighs. But anyway, then we'll have to set up the console a little differently. And yeah, we'll get this thing running. We used to have a wall in here for our other dyno. We still got it outside, so we'll bring it back in. We'll set it all back up. We've got to set a fan out where that square hole is there. We used to have an exhaust fan right there. So we'll set one of those back up, and then the headers will basically be right here when the motor's on. We got to have some exhaust tubes running back to the headers that run to the exhaust fan and exit everything. So yeah, looks like we've got a few bolts changing here too. But we will do that, and we'll reset up our dyno room. This will be the third or fourth dyno we've had here, so yeah, it should be exciting. It should be a lot of fun. I've missed having a dyno, and we should be able to show you guys lots of builds and some neat projects as we're getting it ready. I think the first thing will be on it will be a 540 cubic inch that we're building in the machine shop currently. I'll take you back and show you some of that build. I said we would show that build along the way, and we've been a little busy, so I haven't done much filming on it, but I'll get over there and show you that build. And we'll show you this as we're piecing it all together, and we're piecing the water lines to the tank. that come through and putting the load on this absorber, and that's what puts a load on the motor. And this little deal here helps read the torque, and then the torque is, if I remember right, is then converted over to horsepower on this, and it'll give us a horsepower reading. You can see like the big drive shaft coming through there to the bell housing, which is then hooked to this coupler that gets bolted on the back of the motor. And yeah, should be a lot of fun. So stay tuned and we'll be back with this. Thanks for watching.